Welcome back. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on Newsx. The Chennai Mahila Court has sentenced the sole accused in the Anna University rape case to life imprisonment. 37-year-old Gnanasekaran, who owned a fast food stall outside the Anna University in Chennai, must undergo at least 30 years of imprisonment without remission. The Mahila Court judge passed an order convicting him of all 11 charges framed, including rape. The convict had trespassed the university campus in December of 2024, following which he committed the sexual assault of the 19-year-old victim. A case was registered on the 23rd of December as the victim complained that an unknown man had threatened and sexually assaulted her on the campus. The Mahila Court framed charges against Gnanasekaran under various sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, including sexual harassment, BNSS, IT Act and the Tamil Nadu Prevention of Women Harassment Act. Brinda DK activist joins us live. Tahira Hassan, activist, is also with us on the broadcast. Vinita Hariharan, policy analyst, is joining us live. Shamshravi Shrine, Supreme Court lawyer, is also with us on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first. Brinda DK, finally punishment being meted out to the accused in the Anna University case. How do you view the judgment?
I'm very glad that there is a precedent that has been set, especially with regard to fast track of a case. We talk about a lot of fast track, swift action, speedy action, and a punishment that is commensurate to the crime. And here we are seeing it is life imprisonment, even though earlier it was so difficult to find the culprit, find the rapist. I'm very happy that something like this has come about. But what else must be done? Because this is not the first case and it will certainly not be the last case. What has the college and the college authorities done about preventing something like this happening? Nothing of that seems to be said even in the judgment, because I've not yet read the judgment, but I would like to see all of these things, simply because while there is a precedent being set for such swift action and a strict punishment, we have to ensure prevention of these kind of cases. We must ensure that some things, mechanisms are put into place, and the college and its responsibilities are not shrugged off. And this cannot happen and again and again. These are happening in many colleges, and something like this must be put to a stop.
Tahira Hassan, this incident had taken place reportedly in December 2024. We are, of course, in June 2025 now. Finally, the Mahila Court in Chennai there coming out with this judgment. Do you appreciate the timeline? Also, what do you make of the sections which were slapped on him and the punishment meted out?
Yes, I welcome this judgment, sentencing accused of rape, life imprisonment, minimum for 30 years without remission. That is more important. I think Vrinda will also put some light on it. Without remission, because I think there must be no clause, no room for the rapist to get remission, because they violate the women body, and this is the most heinous crime. Nothing could be more heinous crime than violating women body, and that set the bad precedent. This verdict is judgment sets the a precedent that people will fear that within the 5 months. I say that Tamil Nadu police, I appreciate their work also. They collected all the evidence and produced in the court. An honorable court gave the judgment on whatever the evidences were collected by Tamil Nadu police. And within 5 months, this Darinda have been awarded life imprisonment. So I think it set a good precedent, but because we always say that only talk cannot reduce sexual harassment against the women. We talk, always we discuss in debate and all. If we really want to curb the rising sexual harassment and violence against the women, increase the conviction rate, then only there will fear will prevail among these goons, these hooligans, these darindas, these gundas, and they can be controlled. So I think this is a very good judgment, and I appreciate it. But I just agree with Vrinda that some accountability must be fixed on the college also, because it took place in the campus, Anna University campus. So what about the security of our girls? Are they not safe in college, universities also? So some accountability must be fixed on the college also.
Okay, let me in fact quickly rope in at this point Vinita Hariharan as well. Vinita Hariharan, the fact of course is that this took place on a college campus. That is what made it all the more shocking and audacious. Students should feel safe when they are in schools and in colleges, but here this woman had to face this kind of an incident. What do you make of the sentence finally given to the accused? And what further must be done to ensure that women do not fall prey to such predators, particularly in safe spaces like schools and colleges and educational institutions?
No, absolutely. This incident taking place in a public institution such as Anna University, which is such a revered university not only across the country but across the world too. And we have such an incident where a biryani vendor is given access to the campus, unfettered access, so to speak. Of course, the verdict and the punishment is noteworthy, and it would be set a precedent for such crimes not to happen again. But then we have to reflect on the larger ecosystem in the country where public institutions are increasingly becoming unsafe for women and for the girl students. If you look at the entire ecosystem of the POCSO cases in the country, in Tamil Nadu specifically, if you see between 23 and 24, there was about a 52% increase in the number of POCSO cases in Tamil Nadu, but 12,000 POCSO cases filed between 2019 and 2024, with just about 7,000 disposed and with about 4,400 actually pending. Now, this particular case received a lot of protests, also because of the proximity of this criminal with the political forces that be in Tamil Nadu and with the opposition parties protesting, and it got a lot of public limelight, and so perhaps the judicious and the expeditious manner in which the POCSO case was dealt with. But this every case cannot be such a case of political importance or political nexus. So therefore, there needs to be an overall regulation against such incidents to happen again and again in universities. We also have to reflect on the larger case of how drug abuse and substance abuse has become the norm in colleges and universities in South India, especially in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and also, of course, Punjab in the north. But these are things that we need to reflect upon. And this particular case also, we need to actually debate and see and discuss and come out with norms as to how women can be safe in public institutions. How about, there is this internal complaints committee that is there in institutions, but these are all just on paper. Nothing is actually happening. What about, checking the credentials of these criminals, of these vendors who come into these institutions? We need to have Aadhaar linked, credentials checked on the portals of institutions, and we cannot give such unchecked access to vendors in campuses. And there needs to be a foolproof security systems, along with, of course, improving the CCTV surveillance and all of these mechanisms which are already in place but needs to be doubled up and scaled up in universities. And most importantly, I think political nexus is something that needs to be checked for the staff and for the vendors in universities across India.
Yes, Shamshavi Shrine, let me rope you in here as well for your comment, of course, on the fast-track nature of this trial which has happened. Do you believe that Mahila courts are doing this now slowly, of course, across the country like we've seen in Chennai, or was an example made of this case in particular? Also, stringent sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sahita Act, are they helping nail these perpetrators in this stringent fashion like we've seen today?
Yes, I would say that yes, Mahila courts have been doing a good job over here. If you remember, even last year in MP court, one of the MP courts in a rape of a small child, within a month a judgment was actually delivered there. So such kind of cases have been dealt in a good manner. Of course, it is slightly slow. Few of the courts are actually setting example, which is a good thing to do. We all should applaud them. And besides that, the judgment has been a very good one. I mean, it is always life imprisonment. And life imprisonment means that after 14 years, once you complete your incarceration in the jail, you can submit your applications for payroll. Oh, sorry. You can submit applications for payroll and then furlough, we call it. So after 2 years of you being inside the jail, you can get payroll furlough. But here they have straight away mentioned that without any remission, which means that which means that he won't be granted any payroll furlough from the jail, from the LG. And 30 years means that after 14 years, every inmate has a right to submit their application for early release from the jail. So their application is being considered by the board of the LG. Here it is clearly mentioned that 30 years, which means that before 30 years, he won't be able to submit even his application for early remission. So that is again a very good thing. One of the case that earlier we had somewhat on the similar platform was the Delhi Tandoor murder case, wherein the period was 20 years, and after 20 years that the inmate, the accused, had got the bail in that matter, and also 30 years is a very good example that the Mahila Court has actually set, and we hope that such kind of matters have been dealt with in such short period, because it is otherwise it is a very harassment that for the family, for the girl, for everyone in the society who have faced such kind of a problem, that they keep on going to the court. It's taking years and years, and you know the judgment isn't coming out. 5 months heads go. We are very happy that the Mahila Court has taken such a good and stern action in this matter. Thank you.
Yes, let me in fact also go back across then to Brinda DK. Brinda DK, coming back now to the fact that this happened at a university. Is that shocking? Anna University, well-known university, of course, in Tamil Nadu. This happens to a young girl. How do we make our campuses safe? How do we ensure that these safe sanctuaries for students are not violated in this manner?
Absolutely. All parents send their children to schools and colleges assuming that they are safe spaces, assuming that there are responsible people taking care of their children, their safety and their security. And colleges are temples of learning. That's the word, that's the phrase that we use, temples of learning. If this has happened in a temple of learning, it is not only shocking and atrocious, it also shows the carelessness and callousness with which security is being taken care of or not taken care of in these institutions. That is because to date, we have never pulled up any management person in charge for this security. We, of course, even in this particular case, that's what I mentioned in the beginning. The rapist has been pulled up 30 years and it is a fast track court, 6 months. What is at stake for the institution, for the management, for their callousness, for their carelessness, for not taking that responsibility? Because that rapist could not have come inside, and it has not been once. He has done that repeatedly. It could not have happened without some connivance of the institution in charge, whoever that might be. We can call the security warden, whatever that might be. But it is the institution's connivance with that rapist. So what is at stake for them? What has the court said that they must do or must not do? So not only is it shocking, it is also important that we hold all stakeholders responsible. Why is it that we are absolving the institution? See, the institution is the first place that should have extended the security, which it did not. So why is the court or anybody else absolving them? Why are we not holding them accountable? How is it that we can bring that kind of a responsibility into the mechanisms of the institution? Because there's no way anybody should get away when something like this has happened. We also heard rumors, I'm mentioning it as rumors, that this was not the first case where a minor or a student was sexually assaulted, abused, or raped. So there seems to have been previous cases. Why haven't the institution gone into it? They may not have wanted to come and make a complaint at the police station, but the question is, why haven't the institutions gone into this? Why hasn't Anna University looked at it seriously to ensure what is the relief that can be given to those people who may have brought it even as a remark or a concern to those authorities? So I am very concerned that institutions are not being held accountable. They are equal stakeholders for responsibility and safety of students. That is something that the courts must seriously look at, because we can't have institutions of education becoming preying grounds for sexual predators.
Absolutely. You know, Tahira Hassan, the fact, of course, is that this individual, this accused in this case, now the convict, reportedly owned a fast food stall outside the university. Now, how did he gain access then to the university? And how can we prevent more such intruders across not just Anna University but other universities across the country? These are all things we must ponder over today, because Tahira, many colleges have these fast food stalls outside, but that doesn't give these individuals a license to go inside the campus and assault girls in the manner that happened.
Yes, of course. This is a question that raises. We must raise this question, and I think the court must also look into it. And you know, accountability. Earlier, I said in my opening statement, the accountability must be fixed on the institution, management, the administration, provost, warden. And why our girls are not secure in these universities, schools and colleges. And in school, you know, the fourth standard girl was raped, Thane. Do you remember? We were discussing in debate that also. So why our female are not safe in these schools, colleges, even the hospital? Our doctors are raped. Why not fix the accountability on these institutions also? Fix accountability and conviction rate, increase conviction rate. These culprits must be behind the bars. No remission for them. The rapists must not get any remission, you know. Strict punishment. And this judgment, I again say, I appreciate it. Life imprisonment for 30 years without remission. So this will set the precedent. And this will, I'm sure. And this is not only this Tamil Nadu. And everywhere the women's security is not taken seriously. It is taken for granted. The girls are raped in colleges, in engineering colleges, and everywhere we see, we talk, we discuss, we debate, we protest. What happens? Ajikar Medical College, we all were protesting. The whole medicos were on the street, people were fighting against it. So what? The girl lost her life. We lost one very, intelligent doctor. Valuable lives were lost. And you know, violating women's body, again I say, nothing could be more heinous crime. So I think accountability must be fixed on institutions also, but conviction rate must be increased. And again, the question must be asked that after Nirbhaya, the Nirbhaya fund, that is 30,000 crore, how much has been utilized if not by the states? That state has to give the answer of that also. Why it's not utilized properly? Why the women's security is not on priority? It should not be verbal only. It should be shown on the ground. Implement whatever the laws have been made. Implement it properly. Then only we can give the security to our women. And that is very important.
Yes, indeed. Vinita Hariharan, come in here on, on whether this is now an example case which hopefully will set a precedent for others too across the country.
No, definitely. As I said, the punishment is something which can go on records, and it can be a precedent for other crimes not to happen. And especially for such sexual assault cases, I think this would deter other criminals from, following suit. But at the same time, we also need to reflect on our campus safety and on the safety of women on campuses, as has been, reiterated by Brinda and Tahira. And I think the case against the university itself, yes, Anna University, this is definitely a black mark on Anna University, and this needs to be, I think Anna University also needs to pay for this, and in terms of maybe, the credentials coming down, because safety is an important aspect in university. It's not just about the ranks, the performance, the students in the academic merit, but it's also about the overall, as I said, ecosystem that the university offers, how healthy is the university in all other aspects. I think those are some things that we could perhaps mark universities on these parameters and see how, overall 360-degree wellness is there for a girl or a male or a female student in the university. And again, about this unfettered access that this vendor got to the campus, I think it also has to do with his political nexus. But at the same time, not reflecting on the political nexus so much, but also about the access that he had to the university campus. How about bringing out, technology where we could actually check the entry and exit of such vendors to campuses? That's something that we could do in the mechanical aspects of checking the safety of students within campuses. Apart from that, also, I think there needs to be cells, where grievance redressal cells, they sound very cliched, but they need to be active in campuses where women and where girl students can actually go and speak out their fears and go and speak out the issues that they're facing, and this needs to be decentralized. It need not be just in one corner of the university. It also can be there in different buildings in the universities where girl students can go and speak up about the issues that they're facing and what kind of harassment that they're being subject to. Because there are many such cases, not just with a vendor, but also about university professors harassing their students. Because a lot of cases have come to me, also women coming to me and asking me for help, to resolve the cases where they are being subject to harassment by their professors, sexual harassment by the professors. So these are things that are happening in universities, in Indian universities today, and we need to take cognizance of this, along with all of these issues that are happening with the girl students, the vendors, the political nexus, the drug abuse. These are things that are need
Right.
to be
Okay,
laws and
Shavi Shrine, last word to you before we close. On the road ahead for women's safety, what lessons can be drawn? Hopefully, what steps will be taken very soon?
Yeah, since after that Visakha judgment, we have this law wherein it is mandatory to have a posh committee over there in the university, so that anyone can go and complain for their sexual harassment and all. But since it is said that it is there on the papers only now, so we have to see whether there was such kind of a team or not, wherein the women and the seniors are part of that posh team, and they are being heard or not, and what action has been taken. And yes, as all the other speakers have said, that it is necessary for the university to be made accountable in this matter, so that not only this such kind of matters,
Yes.
wherein the students, the teachers, professors, everyone are being harassed, so that they also know that they have to tighten up their security. Every parent send their kids to the college school for their kids' safety. And if you don't have cameras over there, the security guard is not proper. And yes, those who are entering the campus, their
Absolutely.
documents are not being checked so properly.
Okay,
All of that
we leave it
should
at
be-
that. We've run out of time. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. It's time for a very short break.